Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Bandvatitam Gaganasharisham Tattvamasyaridaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, hi, this is Ma Nitya Oviananda. I'm filming here again live at the beautiful Nithyanandeshwara Sada Shiva Devasthanam here in India. Today I wanted to again give you a first-hand experience I had yesterday. I've been doing a series of stories about Sanyas and what it kind of means and what it means for me and all. So I wanted to express just what an amazing life it is to live around Swamiji. Yesterday we had the beautiful, spontaneous surprise of Swamiji sitting with us the whole day. He basically just announced, go to this specific place and he's going to come and sit with us. So all day we got to sit with him and hear many different insights he had, and it was beautiful. But one opportunity he gave us is to share something, what we think is the answer to a specific question that he was asking. And I started to answer the question, in the mic. For one thing, to get in the mic, I was telling you the other day in one of my other videos about how being a sannyasi means sometimes going into what you fear, or what you fear or don't want to do, that I don't like it, or I don't want to do it, or I don't want to, those kinds of things will come up. But you have to sometimes just say, if that's coming up, then I must do it because I have to get over it. In the same way I always felt about talking in the mic. Like 5 years ago when I first came to the Adinam, I couldn't even imagine speaking here to you like pretty much every day on video. There was no way. I wanted to record a video about after I did Pratyakshapada Puja, and I just couldn't even handle it. That camera was in front of me and I was standing there and I had such a beautiful story to tell, but I couldn't manage. So now, I can at least speak to you and share some things, in these videos. But I still get a little nervous, on the mic, like a little bit is there. And then when Swamiji is there mainly, So, but anyway, I thought, okay, well, I for sure have to say something, because I have to get over this and I want to speak with him. Also, I should, say something, contribute, and share something, right? And also get over this stupid pattern I'm having. So I started to share, basically the question was, the statement is, here we were sitting at the first building, this small kind of hut where Swamiji stayed when he first came to the Adinam here in 2002, when the land was donated to him, and he began to stay here, when it was extremely primitive land and hardly anything was here. Pretty much nothing was here, not even any walls or anything. It was just like jungle, basically, because this place used to be a snake farm. So imagine. And so he would stay here in this hut. And so we were sitting outside because we got that land back, and we were cleaning that area up, and all the things that were left inside, there were some of Swamiji's artifacts. So we were going around and he was sitting there and he's like, how is it that from this point, from this small hut, basically this huge campus came about and this international spiritual organization, what is the reason for it, And so many people we're giving all different reasons, and they're all good reasons, but somehow I feel we're missing some important reason, which we're waiting. He's supposed to tell us his take on it. But all day he patiently listened to all our things, and through it all he picked on people, he made fun. Somebody had some real philosophical answer, and he's like, thank you for your PhD, kind of thing. He was joking. So many different things. So, the click that I had, one of the clicks, and I'm not even saying, there's so many aspects of Swamiji. You can't just put him into one thing at all. It's not possible. He's the cosmos, so you can't shrink him down into that. But based on our little understanding of what that means and the different aspects of him that we see, that's all we can really, share. So one thing that wasn't mentioned that I thought that I really know and love about Swamiji is his intensity. How pretty much everything he does is so intense. If you see, one video I just filmed about the Indrani Vahana, it's a huge elephant. The Vahanas are used by all the deities. Basically, the deities have their own mounts, their personal you know, beings, you know, basically that they're honored by taking them around. So like Sadashiva has Nandi, you know, in Indra has this Indrani Vahana. It's an elephant. But this elephant is different, you know. Usually the temple elephants or the temple Vahanas will just be some hammered, you know, brass or something simple there, and then they'll have the deity. But this one is an elephant, a three-headed elephant, carved, detailed. Each little detail is carved in hammered silver, and underneath it is carved in teak wood, actually, because it'll last for such a long time. And then over that again, the silver, and then all these jewels are drilled like into this, you know, permanently affixed jewels. So this three-headed elephant shines like anything, like stars. You know, it's beautiful, a beautiful creation because it's a combination of northern and southern Indian art, and Swamiji's put it all together. So he doesn't just, oh, let's just do the standard whatever they're doing. No, he's coming up with these ways that he wants things done in such a creative and beautiful way. And so what I mean by intensity, his whole life is like such an intensity. So I was kind of getting into describing that, and I didn't get too far before Swamiji kind of scolded me because I said something stupid. I gave the wrong facts because my example I wanted to give to Swamiji's intensity is the Kumbh Mela in Ujjain that we recently had in 2016. There's a little hammering going on here. In 2016, Ujjain, how it was such an intense energy field, and the whole, you know, thing, like we just were continuously, you know, in action and running, and, you know, 2,000-3,000 or maybe 3,000, 4,000 people, and hundreds of thousands of people come there every day. But unfortunately, I said 10,000 people, and he's like, were you even there? Like, were you sleeping? He basically said, were you like sleeping somewhere there? 10,000 people, and I'm like, you know, so that was kind of all I said, and I sat down. You know, he said a little bit more, and whatever the exact word for word I'm not going to have here, but that's basically what he told me. And I was like, what? Oh my God, what does he mean? And then I'm thinking, oh God, you know, there was 100 people per minute that walked through the door of that temple. But for some reason, when I was standing there, I blurted out the wrong thing, and I kind of forgot even. I was like, yeah, it was 10,000. Like, I just totally was like completely, I missed that one, right? Because I was gathering the data about, you know, even Ujjain, so I knew it was 100,000 people, and the amount of people we were feeding, and just like I said, 100 people every minute walking through the door of the temple. You know, nobody had 100,000 square feet temple with over 30 deities, and main deities also, Nithyanandeshwar and Nithyanandeshwari, you know, a huge Shiva Linga, all of those things, intense, you know. Swamiji's intense, and the whole thing was intense. You know, we were there from morning till night till 3 in the morning. He wanted the temple to be open 24 hours a day. So we basically maybe slept for 1 hour and got ready for the yoga and puja. And we closed down the temple at 3 o'clock. And it was intense. And then so when he said that, I'm like, sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I'm thinking, what is... And it's not the first time he said that to me also. He said it a couple other ways to me. So I'm like, it's dawning. I mean, you know, it has another meaning, what he's saying. Well, what is that meaning? You know, I'm still looking in to see exactly what that was, but I have an idea what it is. And so I'm contemplating that pretty deeply now, because I need to figure this out, because he's already said it so many times to me. So like that, I'll share in a moment, but I want to say the beauty of being with Swamiji as a sannyasi. You know, he will say anything, do anything to get those incompletions, those patterns, those karmas, you know, anything. He'll get it to cleanse us of those things so that we can drop them and be powerful beings and get into that oneness space. Because these are the stupidities that are blocking us from finally, you know, connecting fully, full time. I mean, what a beautiful experience just to have a glimpse. But imagine always living like that. How amazing life will be. So as sannyasis, we're basically saying yes, you know, whatever training and all these things, you know, and that was nothing. I mean, he's been very ferocious, you know, to get at those patterns that I've had, and, you know, where I've been really, you know, emotionally distraught, you know, but he's always getting at that, because why why am I going into such a, at that time, at other times, such a incompletion or such an emotional ride, you know? What is it? A lot of it I feel has to do with the mind and a lot of the social conditioning that, I had or went through, earlier in my life and the cognitions that I built. Those are the things he's getting at because those are false. Those are not my identities. Those are not who I am. So all of these things he does and says is only to draw those out. So now this one was actually great because I really have to think about what is that? Where am I actually sleeping or not saying yes to life? Where am I missing, So I'm looking at this now so I can correct it. It's a blind spot. He's pointing at our blind spot that we don't even know exists. And sometimes the master is very subtle, who give us those things and we have to just catch him. And maybe I didn't catch it the first couple times he said it. And instead you automatically want to go kind of in defense mode, like I'm not sleeping or this, that. But it's not what he means. You have to look into that from an objective. Swamiji recently said, don't rush to stupid conclusions. Don't rush into those things. Take your time a little bit before you do that. So absorbing what he says without going, see, we're so used to immediately going into some emotional response, a response based on something that happens outside of us. Instead of waiting a moment, seeing what is it and why would I be getting upset? We just want to already go and attack, or you know what I mean? We're in such a crazy psychological mode because of the way we're raised now in the West. Everything is a psychological drama, from the TV to the news to, everything. And people are just, I don't know, they're sitting on their phones all day. So when something happens, it's like a big drama, so everything's kind of that way. And how do we relax from that, unclutch from that, and get into what's really going on inside of us? Because that's where the answers are, not outside. So I'm so grateful for that. So I'm going to continue to contemplate, and my gratitude to Swamiji for that whole beautiful day we had with him, and the beautiful gift he's giving by interacting with us and giving us what we need to expand more and more spiritually. So thanks again for watching today. Nithyananda.